Yeah. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the news at 6. I'm Precious Mimshak. Our main headlines. SRC President receives backlashes from the student population. SRC receives backlashes from the student populations after source told UHAS Base TV that an amount of 2,000 Ghana cedis is being proposed for cost of nomination form for the position of the federal SRC presidency.
Actually, the price there is not fair at all. So if the people can really do something about it, I think they should. Because how do you expect me to pay 2,000 Ghana cedis for nomination form?
Just nomination form, 2,000 for president. I don't even know. Even when you go for the vetting and you say you have not qualified for the thing, then the 2,000 just say like that. Oh.
Open nominations on Monday, 25th July for the 2022 elections. We'll have reactions from students about this and bring up all the latest news to you. Hello and welcome once again to this special edition of the News as is coming to you live from Trafalgar. A source has told UHAS Base TV that the Electoral Commission of the SRC is considering 2,000 Ghana cedis for the cost of federal presidency nomination forms for this year's elections. After the story broke, there have been mixed reactions from students across campus, with many divided on whether that amount of money should be charged. Our team caught up with some of them. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, we don't believe I saw it this morning. Someone posted it on his status and I was like, just nomination form, 2,000 for president. I don't even know. Even when you go for the vetting and you say you have not qualified for the thing, then the 2,000 just say like that. Oh no, that thing is not fair. I think they have to do something about it because that 2,000, how can you take 2,000 for just a form? You have not even go for the vote. No, it's not nice. So if you can do something about it for them to reduce the price, I think it will be good. Yeah.
We have already been in that best position to do something about it. But then that's why we are doing something like this, so that maybe it can be heard out there. But I also heard that it hasn't been approved by the parliament.
So they should do.
It's not the confirmed price. But even with that, I think it's still high or something.
I think they should do something.
Saying something like 2,000. Do you think the students are even ready for something like that?
Oh, even if I'm ready for that, that amount of money will push me back because how can I pay 2,000 for this form?
How much is my school fees?
For the vet? It's not fair.
How much is my school fees?
How much is even school fees? You are paying 5,000 and something, you are coming to pay just 2,000 for nomination. It's not fair. You have to do something about it. Maybe just 5 minutes in the car will be okay. How come 2,000?
What do you think about it?
2,000 Ghana cedis is actually too because these people are actually students. They are actually students, and then looking at this particular fee for just nomination, I know that we are all in school, and then there are people that we believe that they are actually doing something to be able to get this particular money. But have you ever thought of it that even if these people after vetting have been qualified and then they are in office, they will actually try to use these particular years to amass wealth for themselves? That should be our first focus, because I cannot use 2,000 Ghana cedis for just nomination, go into office, and then go and dedicate, commit my whole life and then my time to work for UHAS. I will actually amass some work for myself and then try to actually do things for myself. The money that I've actually spent, I'll try to gain it. Yes.
But don't you think the SRC also needs money in running of the election, because there's going to be a lot of materials needed for this election?
Yeah, that's very true. They need, I believe they need a lot of money to run this particular election. But actually, have you also ever thought of the money that students pay every academic year? That is 100 cedis every academic year. Sincerely, this money is actually for SRC, and then a part of that money can also be used to run this particular election. Not only depending or actually basing everything on what the nomination fees. So I think they can use a part of that money, because that's quite a huge money. Everyone paying 100 Ghana cedis, and we are like 7,000 in school. That's quite a huge money.
So imagine you are the EC. Do you think you have anything? What do you think? Like, what should you have done?
Okay, I also have heard that this particular fee is not yet being approved by the EC. Okay, hasn't yet been approved by the parliament. Yes, so I actually urge them to really think critically about this. This is because if they actually approve this particular fee, it will go a long way to actually disturb some of these students. Because sincerely, there will be students that cannot afford this particular fee for the nomination, but they have quite higher ideas than even those that we assume to be rich to actually assume these kinds of positions. So they should actually think about it and then do something about it, in case maybe reduce it a little bit. Yes, please.
So thank you very much, Wanda, for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael, also for actually considering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what is your take on it? Do you think the price there is okay for students?
Sadly, the price there is not fair at all. So if the people can really do something about it, I think they should. Because how do you expect me to pay 2,000 Ghana cedis for nomination form, and I'll go for vetting, and then they will tell me you are not qualified, and my money will just share like that? No, it's not fair. So if the people can really do something about it, I think they should really pay attention to it.
Interesting comments from the students' populace. Now we bring to your screen the proposed amounts for the various categories for this year's election. For the federal president, it's 2,000 Ghana cedis. Other federal positions is 1,500 Ghana cedis. Local NUCS president, as well as the provincial president positions, is 1,500 Ghana cedis. Also for local news executives is 1,500 Ghana cedis, and other provincial executives is also 1,500 Ghana cedis. We are being joined in the studio by our political correspondent, Prince Emmanuel, to discuss this further. Hello, Prince.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. The matter on ground, the prizes of this year's nomination forms for the positions of the SRC executives. What do you think about this?
Okay, so actually, it's funny to me. It's funny to me because how on earth could a human being, like a student for that matter, like look for, just come out with such a huge amount for his fellow student to pay, someone that is not even working, and I feel like there is no justification why they should even call such an amount. Because for an electoral commission that the whole students' populace is even trying to build confidence in, after not producing a president for us, and like release a president for just 1 month to time, this is not a time for you to even raise such an amount that people will not even enter into election. Because at this time, you have to build the confidence of the people. We already know you that you don't even give us fair election. Because a lot of things go in place and people just have divided attention and divided opinion about your whole electoral process. So at this instance, it's not a time for you to even reach such an amount. And what is even bringing about that amount is something that we don't even know. So for me, in short, it's just funny.
Wow, you really have a strong disagreement to this amount. But you see, people have this argument that other schools like Legon and Tech pay such amounts, or at least 1,500 for their positions. So why shouldn't UHAS SRC also pay out outrageous amounts?
All right. So in the first place, that is why they are Tech and Legon.
Okay.
UHAS is a school is now growing. So you can't consider what, decide to do what those schools which are already established they've been doing and just try to copy blindly. Moreover, last year you charged 450 Ghana cedis for the forms. So it doesn't just reason up or just add up that that's the next year you triple the amount, even more than triple the amount of the form you charged the previous. It doesn't just add up. So unless, even if they come out to tell us that this is the reason why they are even giving us such an amount, it doesn't just reason up. None of them should even think about such an amount at this instance. They should rather be concerned about how they can rather look at their whole system and bring out a fair election that the students will build trust in them. That's what they should be looking at this moment, not looking at how they can just increase the amount. Look at it, you see, the whole student population is not talking. How much do we even pay as school fees in the first place? Some people pay 4,000, and you are expecting a student whose parents are taking care of him to go and look for 2,000. And simply the way I analyze the whole thing is that you're just trying to tell us that look for the money, pay, when you come, rob the student's purse and go and get back. That's the in one sentence. That's what you're trying to tell us. And you can't come and tell us that maybe it's because of the budget or other things, because in this current status quo that we are trying to fight the issue of corruption, nobody is born corrupt. It's circumstances that make the person corrupt. So if I personally should go and look for 2,000 Ghana cedis from somewhere, of which I know my parents will not give me, and I'll go and find ways and means to get that money. If I come into office, I have to find a way of ways to get my money back, because how much do I even get as a compensation for going for meetings? How much do I even get? And you are working for the students' populace, so you don't expect us to even invest so much into forms. And when I look at the form, it is so disappointing that you get that about the addition of all that. If one person should contest from each portfolio, you are getting about 100,000 or so.
Wow.
Like money. So that's each one person competes for the positions. So if to the rest of them, what are you going to use the money for? I think it's just use the money for even the only thing we are even hearing up and down is like they are saying from sources, some sources claim that because of the website management and all those things, the problem associated with the website. And I want to state that we are rushing too much. Even if you are trying to copy the so-called Legon and the KUST, don't copy an aspect of them and leave the other aspects which leave a good election. Looking at Legon and KUST, for instance, they are old institutions with their population. They still hold elections in person. They go and vote. Even Ghana, even the whole Ghana, as you are saying, the whole Ghana with our population, we still hold election in person. It doesn't cost so much to have an in-person election as compared to having an online election, because those websites and those things, people are going to sit by the computer and develop those software. So they will charge huge amounts. But printing of ballot papers and those things don't cost so much. So people shouldn't bring any issue about website management on Tuesday, because if you use websites, it is not even working. So if you are copying Legon because they are charging 1,500, 2,000, and you also want to copy the same, then also try and copy the good aspects of Legon. What is making Legon stand out in election issues when they are using a paper? Try and copy that aspect. So don't copy blindly the other aspect and leave the other one, which is not good.
Thank you very much, Prince Emmanuel. You have a strong argument. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having
on
me.
News at 6. Do enjoy your evening.
Same to you.
Wow, interesting. Now, UHAS Base TV made a poll on its social media platforms on whether students agree on the cost of nominations forms or not. The results are as follows. 67% disagree with the EC, while 33% agree with the EC. Let us know what you also think. Let's speak to Archimedes, who was the former president of the UHAS Debate Committee or Society. He joins us on phone. Hello, Archimedes.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for taking time off to join us here on News at 6.
It's an honor to be here.
Wow. So the matter on ground is about the price of the nominations forms for this year's elections. Please, do you have anything to say concerning these prizes?
Yes, it's kind of weird that our last elections, the nomination forms were going for as high as 450 cedis, and this year it's a whooping 2,000. I would want to just give the EC and then Parliament the benefits of the doubt that there is a reason why there's this massive increment. I don't think even inflation can account for over 200% increments in nomination forms. I also think that the fact that it has gotten to that point means that to some extent they owe the students' populace an explanation, because for 67% to say they disagree means that they would want to know why the forms are selling as high as they are doing now, as compared to what we've had in the previous years. And I also think that if the forms are going for as high as 2,000, it means that there is going to be a lot of pressure to eliminate all those election after election crises that we've had in this institution and having to appoint acting presidents on board. So I just want to give the benefit of the doubt that there is a reasonable explanation as to why we are charging 2,000 cedis for federal SRC presidents.
All right, Archimedes. Some students, especially those with a disagreement, say that this is a platform, or this is giving those who will come into power the opportunity to be more corrupt, or it breeds more corruption with this prize that they are bringing. What do you think about this thing that the students are talking about?
This is a speculation that it's not directly proportional. So I want to say that the fact that I'm going to buy forms for as high as 2,000 doesn't mean I'm going to be a thief when I'm in office. But it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the fact that when people see this as an investment, because if you are going to invest as high as 2,000 Ghana cedis into a form to fill an office, which is meant for you to serve the people, I think as humans, it's just reasonable for us to assume that you would want to get something back. So for instance, if I'm going to get your vote, I have to buy for it, I have to buy things, I have to make sure that I catch your attention with my money. When I come to office, whatever or wherever I got the money from, be it loans or so, I would have to repay them. It means that in as much as it's not really proportional to conclude that people are going to be corrupt in office, it also means that we still cannot disregard the fact that they would want to get something out of the investments that they have made.
Thank you very much. One more thing. Have you heard from any of the aspirants about this matter?
As a matter of fact, yes, I have.
Can you share with us what the person has said without disclosing the person's identity?
Excellent. So it's like the majority of students are having on campus. They find it weird that there is this massive increment in the price of the forms. So to them, they would also want a kind of explanation as to why they are going to buy the SRC presidential forms for as high as 2,000, because this is way beyond what all of us were expecting in this institution.
Thank you very much. To add to my question, do you know of anyone who has taken the forms?
Personally, no.
All right.
Let's see who have the money to go first.
All right. Thank you very much. And would you have any recommendations for the aspirants? Do you think they should come up as a team to either demonstrate against this, or come up as a team to meet with the EC for negotiation?
Yes, for aspirants that are going to represent us, and according to the polls that we have seen, if 67% are saying they disagree, it means that as a campaign strategy, for you to catch that 67%, you need to voice out, you need to be their voice. So they should come out and at least make the EC explain to the students' populace why they are going to pay as much as they are going to, because it's obvious students do care.